Most people are waiting. They are waiting for the right time. They are waiting for the right feeling. They are waiting for the right conditions, the right knowledge, the right confidence, the right moment when everything finally lines up and gives them permission to begin. Think about that. They are waiting for a moment that has never arrived in the history of any successful life. Because here is the truth. The people who built the lives you admire did not start because they were ready. They started because they decided. They started before they had answers. They started before they had certainty. They started before the doubt left their minds. And somewhere along the way, in the middle of starting, they became the person they were waiting to be. This is the lesson most people never learn. Readiness is not a feeling. Readiness is a result. It does not appear before action. It appears because of action. Now understand something important. Every great life began with a moment that did not feel great. Every strong person was once a beginner who felt weak. Every confident voice was once a quiet voice that was afraid to speak. The difference between them and everyone else is not talent. It is not luck. It is not gift. It is timing, but not the kind of timing most people think. It is the willingness to begin before the timing felt perfect. Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. And one of the most important disciplines you will ever build is the discipline of starting before you feel ready. Let me ask you something. How many times in your life have you waited for the perfect moment? How many times have you said, I will begin when I feel prepared? How many times have you postponed your dream because the timing wasn't right, the money wasn't right, the season wasn't right, the mood wasn't right? And how many of those perfect moments actually came? Almost none. Because the perfect moment is a story your mind tells you to keep you safe. It is a polite excuse dressed up to look like wisdom. It feels responsible. It feels mature. It feels patient. But it is none of those things. It is fear, wearing the costume of preparation. And while you are waiting, life keeps moving. The years keep passing. The window keeps narrowing. The opportunity keeps drifting towards someone who decided not to wait. Now, think about this. The person who starts at 50% ready will finish 1,000 miles ahead of the person who is still preparing at 100%. Why? Because the one who starts begins to learn. The one who starts begins to adjust. The one who starts begins to grow. And the one who waits stays exactly where they were when they first had the idea. Action teaches what waiting cannot. You cannot study your way to readiness. You cannot read your way to readiness. You cannot think your way to readiness. There is only one way readiness arrives, and it arrives after you have already begun. Here is what most people misunderstand. They believe confidence comes first and action comes second. They believe certainty comes first and movement comes second. They believe clarity comes first and commitment comes second. But the opposite is true. Action comes first. Confidence follows. Movement comes first. Certainty follows. Commitment comes first. Clarity follows. This is the order of every meaningful life. And the moment you accept this order, your entire relationship with starting will change. Now, let me say this clearly. Starting before you are ready is not reckless. It is not foolish. It is not careless. It is the most honest, most disciplined thing you will ever do because it requires you to face the truth that you will never feel completely ready and to move anyway. That is courage. That is maturity. That is the beginning of every great chapter. Think about the seed for a moment. The seed does not wait until it understands the soil. The seed does not wait until it has studied the weather. The seed does not wait until it feels confident about becoming a tree. The seed simply begins. And by beginning, it discovers what it was always meant to become. You are the same. You were not designed to wait for permission. You were designed to begin and to discover yourself in the process. Every gift inside you was placed there to be used, not to be protected. Every dream inside you was placed there to be pursued, not to be postponed. Every vision inside you was placed there to be built, not to be admired from a distance. But none of it activates until you start. Now, understand something important. There is a quiet kind of pain that most people never talk about. It is not the pain of failure. It is not the pain of rejection. It is not the pain of trying and falling short. It is something deeper than that. It is the pain of knowing you could have started and didn't. It is the pain of looking back at the years and realizing the only thing standing between you and a different life was the courage to begin. That pain is heavier than any failure, because failure can be repaired. Failure can be rebuilt. Failure can be learned from and turned into wisdom. But the regret of never starting cannot be undone. It cannot be edited. It cannot be replayed. It sits in the quiet hours of the night, asking the question no one wants to hear. What if I had begun? Do not let that question follow you to the end of your life. Begin now. Begin small. Begin imperfectly. Begin afraid. Begin uncertain. Begin with shaking hands and an unsure voice. But begin. Because the only difference between the person you are and the person you want to become is a beginning. Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. And the first discipline of all is the discipline to start. Let me tell you something about confidence. Confidence is not a feeling you are born with. It is not a personality trait. It is not something some people have and others don't. Confidence is the residue of action. It is what is left behind after you have done the thing you were afraid to do. You build confidence the same way you build muscle. You do not get strong by reading about strength. You do not get strong by watching others train. You do not get strong by waiting to feel ready. You get strong by lifting the weight, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it is heavy, even when you feel weak. The same is true for your life. You will not feel confident before you begin. You will feel confident after you have proven to yourself that you can begin, and you will not prove that to yourself with thoughts. You will prove it with action. Small action, daily action, imperfect action. This is how a quiet person becomes brave. This is how a doubtful person becomes certain. This is how an ordinary person becomes someone who lives an extraordinary life. Not by waiting, by beginning. Now think about this. Most of the people you admire today were unsure of themselves at the start. They were not impressive in the beginning. They were not polished. They were not confident. They were not even particularly talented. What they had was simply the willingness to begin without proof that it would work. That is the rare quality. Talent is common. Ideas are common. Dreams are common. Vision is common. What is rare is the person who acts on what they have before they know how it will end. That person becomes who they were meant to be. And the person who waits becomes someone who only watches. Now, let me say something about the size of your beginning. Most people do not start because they think the beginning must be impressive. They think they need a perfect plan. They think they need the right tools. They think they need to launch into the world fully formed, fully prepared, fully ready to be seen. And because they cannot deliver a perfect beginning, they deliver no beginning at all. But greatness does not require a great start. Greatness requires any start. The first step does not need to be brilliant. It only needs to be taken. The first attempt does not need to be successful. It only needs to be attempted. The first day does not need to be perfect. It only needs to happen. Because once you begin, momentum becomes possible. And momentum is more powerful than motivation. Momentum carries you on the days motivation forgets to show up. Now, here is what no one tells you about beginning. The first version of anything you build will be ugly. The first time you try, you will be clumsy. The first time you stand up to speak, your voice will shake. The first time you put your work into the world, it will not be your best. And that is exactly how it is supposed to be. You are not supposed to start at the top. You are supposed to start at the bottom and become someone strong enough to climb. The bottom is not a punishment. The bottom is a school. The bottom is where you learn the lessons that will carry you for the rest of your life. And no one skips this school. No one is exempt. Every person you admire passed through the same beginning you are afraid to face. So, accept the bottom, accept the awkwardness, accept the uncertainty, accept the embarrassment of being new, accept the discomfort of not knowing, because every great life is built by someone who is willing to be a beginner in public and to grow in front of the world. Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. And the discipline you build at the beginning is the discipline that will carry you to the end. Now understand something important. Every day you wait is a day you choose to be the same. Every day you wait is a day you tell your future self, not yet. Every day you wait is a day you trade for nothing. And those days do not return. They cannot be saved up. They cannot be borrowed back. They are gone the moment they pass. This is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to wake you. Because the truth is, you have less time than you think, but you have more time than you need. You do not need decades. You do not need years. You need today. You need this hour. You need this moment. You need the simple, courageous decision to begin one small thing right now before you feel ready, before the doubt clears, before the conditions improve. That is how a life is rebuilt. One ordinary moment at a time. Now let me ask you something. What would change in your life if you stopped waiting? What would change if you stopped negotiating with yourself? What would change if you stopped postponing the version of you that already exists inside you, waiting for permission to step forward? I will tell you what would change. Everything. Your mornings would change. Your habits would change. Your conversations would change. Your direction would change. The way you carry yourself would change. The way you see yourself would change. The way the world responds to you would change. And it would all begin with one quiet, unimpressive decision. The decision to start. Now think about this. You do not need to know the whole path. You only need to know the next step. You do not need to see the entire mountain. You only need to take the first climb. You do not need to feel ready for the destination. You only need to begin moving in its direction. Life will reveal the rest, but only to those who begin. The path appears under the feet of the one who walks. It does not appear in front of the one who waits. So walk, even if you are unsure. Walk, even if you are afraid. Walk, even if you do not know what comes next. Walk anyway, because walking is the only thing that turns a dream into a direction, and a direction into a life. Now let me speak about the people in your life. Some of them will not understand why you are beginning. Some of them will question you. Some of them will doubt you. Some of them will tell you to wait, to be realistic, to be patient, to be careful. And many of them will mean well. But meaning well is not the same as knowing well. You cannot let other people's hesitation become the ceiling of your life. Your life is your responsibility. Your direction is your decision. Your beginning is your business. Do not ask permission to grow. Do not wait for applause to begin. Do not delay your becoming because someone in your life is not ready to watch it happen. The world has never improved because someone waited to be approved. The world improves because someone decided to move without waiting. You can be that someone. Now understand this. The fear you feel before beginning is not a sign that you are wrong. It is a sign that the thing you are about to do matters. Fear is not the enemy of action. Fear is the companion of action. Every meaningful step you ever take will come with fear attached. The goal is not to wait until fear leaves. The goal is to move while fear is still there. That is the difference between the dreamer and the doer. The dreamer waits for fear to disappear. The doer moves while fear is still in the room. And over time, the doer notices something remarkable. The fear becomes smaller. Not because the world became easier, but because the person became stronger. Each act of starting builds a quiet kind of strength inside you. Each beginning trains your mind to trust your decisions. Each step forward proves to your future self that you are the kind of person who does not wait. And that proof becomes the foundation of every chapter that follows. Now, here is the final truth. You will never feel completely ready. Not for the relationship that matters, not for the work that matters, not for the change that matters, not for the life that matters. Readiness is a myth invented by the part of you that is afraid to grow. And the moment you stop believing in that myth, the moment you accept that no one is ever fully ready, that is the moment your real life begins. You start where you are. You begin with what you have. You move with what you know. And the rest of the road gets built as you walk it. This is the law of every meaningful life. It has never changed. It will never change. The people who win are not the most ready. They are the most willing. So be willing. Be willing to begin small. Be willing to begin afraid. Be willing to begin alone. Be willing to begin in silence, with no audience, with no applause, with no certainty about how the story ends. Because that kind of beginning is the only beginning that has ever produced a meaningful life. Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. And the discipline of beginning, before you are ready, is the foundation of every other discipline you will ever build. Think about that. Everything we have talked about comes back to one truth. You are not waiting because you need to wait. You are waiting because waiting feels safer than starting. But safety and growth do not live in the same house. You have to choose, and the choice you make today will shape the next chapter of your life. So, choose well. Choose to begin. Choose to move. Choose to act. Not someday. Not next month. Not next year. Not when the season changes or the mood improves or the conditions soften. Today. This hour. This moment. While the truth is still ringing in your ears. Because the future you want is not going to build itself. It is waiting for the person you already are to begin. So begin. Begin imperfectly. Begin quietly. Begin without proof that it will work. Begin without applause. Begin without certainty. Begin because the alternative is to stay exactly where you are, and you were not designed to stay where you are. You were designed to grow. You were designed to build. You were designed to become. And becoming begins the moment you stop waiting. Start your morning earlier than you feel like starting. Take the action before you feel the motivation. Send the message. Make the call. Open the page. Speak the truth. Step into the room. Do the small, ordinary, unimpressive thing that no one will applaud, but that quietly changes the direction of your life. Because every great life is built by someone who decided, on an ordinary day, to begin. Master your fear. Master your hesitation. Master your future. And keep moving forward, no matter what.